Hey guys, welcome back to the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast, a podcast where happily married couples come together to talk all things real estate and marriage.
There we go.
Yeah, see?
Welcome back. Hey.
Hey. So y'all already know that Kevin and I do real estate. We talk about the kind of real estate that we do all the time. And I think several times we've dropped here and there like our real estate story and how we quit our jobs to go full-time in real estate. And we wanted to take the time today in this particular episode to talk about quitting your job and going into real estate, because doesn't that sound like a great idea?
So don't quit your job.
Kevin, go with the flow. Let's try this again. Doesn't that sound like a great idea?
It sounds amazing.
It does, right? You get to control your own time.
Be your own boss.
Be your own boss. Make your own decisions. Wake up when you want to. You get to wake up when you want to. Nobody tells you what to do and when you can go on vacation.
You know what's amazing? Paying your own paychecks.
Pay your own paycheck.
It's amazing.
It's performance-based. So how well you do is how well you get paid. It sounds like a really good idea.
Have a good time. A really good time.
And today we laugh, but we are the product of two people who quit our jobs to go into real estate.
We're the product of them?
We are.
We became the people after the people?
Wait, we are the people. Okay, wait. We are the people who quit our jobs and went full-time into real estate.
We are.
And if we could do it again, we would do it so much differently.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day, about if I could go back. I think somebody asked me a question or something that made me think about it. If I could go back, would I quit?
Yeah. You promised me you wouldn't yawn.
I didn't yawn.
Okay.
I didn't yawn. I swallowed it.
You did.
Like my tears.
If you could go back, go ahead. If you could go back.
If I could go back, would I quit my job? Would I quit my job? No.
No. And you know what?
I wouldn't.
I say that too all the time. I'm like, if God would have showed
I would have quit your job.
I mean,
I would have quit the hell out of your job.
Okay. We're talking about jobs in general.
Yeah.
Roll with me. If God would have showed me what we would have had to go through, because a lot of people see like the Sheltons and they see the Sheltons, right? Like we're developing and we do sales and we have this podcast and all these amazing things that the Sheltons do. And like most business owners, very many people aren't privy to our journey. What we go through on, that's okay, you're excused. What we go through on a day-to-day basis, they just see like the good, sexy part. And if God would have showed me what we had to go through to get to where we are right now, which is an amazing place, like we obviously have dreams of grandeur, right? But we're in a really great place. If we look around and have gratitude for where we are right now.
I like that. It's
a good place, right? But I would have been like, God would have gave me the preview. He'd have been like, okay, watch this. And I put on my VR glasses and he played, right in front of me, all the things that we have to go through. I'd have been like, nope, we good. I think we're going to stay right here and do it just like this. And he probably would have said, but you can't get there unless you go through that. And I'd go, yeah, Lord, I'm cool. You can keep it. I think I'll do it this way. But he didn't give us the VR glasses. And we did jump in head first, fully ambitious and ready to take on the world of entrepreneurship and real estate. And we learned some pretty valuable lessons.
No, we did. So, I think about it from a perspective of, like you said, looking back now, would we want to go through everything we've been through, or even, the challenges that we have to overcome now? Mm-hmm. And I have to ask myself, would I be prepared? Like, if I understood the challenges, I wouldn't feel prepared to go through them, because honestly, going through them is what prepares you to overcome them. Totally. I was listening to Outwitting the Devil.
Recently?
Like today.
Come on, re-up. Got to re-up on Outwitting the Devil.
Look, man, I need God in my spirit. I got to keep him.
Yes.
I need God and Napoleon Hill together in my spirit every day. And one of the things that was interested in, it talks about finding your inner self, finding that inner you, that new you that can figure out problems. And commanding yourself to overcome your challenges, right? And I think about all the things that the world is facing now, whether it's the, pandemic still going on, or, the economic downturn, since people don't want to say recession or whatever.
Okay. Eggflation.
That's a serious thing. They importing eggs from Mexico like drugs right now. But I look at all these situations, and you have to dig deep to find something inside yourself much bigger to push yourself to overcome whatever obstacles may be in your way. I was in therapy, and I was talking to my therapist about it, and he said, what was a moment that you truly felt successful, right? And the moment that I truly felt success in my life, the biggest version of that, was graduating from college, because I was in a 10-year spiral in school that I felt like I would never get out of. And the lowest lows in that moment or in that 10-year period of time, I just was like, this is never going to end. And I was kind of accepting that fate, right? Except it wasn't until I met you that I saw a little bit of light at the end of that tunnel. But I think back to those moments because it's 10 years since I've been out of college. Mm-hmm. And that was a situation that was 10 years that I never thought I'd see out of, right? So everybody who's going into a situation thinking that, I don't know what's on the other side of this road. I don't know what, I hate this job, or, whatever. You have to realize there is another side of this, right? Like whatever that next step is, wherever you're going, this is preparing you for that. And I feel like our journey from leaving our jobs to now has been that.
But we also want to admonish you that you don't have to do it that way.
No. 1,000%.
No. And so, what's the value in this conversation for you? What's the value for our audience, right? I think that you may be on the verge of saying like, oh man, I want to go full time into real estate. Oh, I want to be a developer. Oh, I want to be a full-time real estate agent, or whatever it is that you may do. And you see this as your path to freedom. And we want you to rest assured that on this path, there's some bumpy terrain.
No, true.
And had we had people like us that had done it before us to sow into us before we had gotten to this point, we definitely would have done it different.
So that's the basis of what I was saying, right? There was a period of time where I thought it was never going to end. And then I met somebody, you, who let me know there was another side of it. Maybe you could tweak one or two things and it could get better, right? So for those of you in a job that you hate your job and you want to quit because you think real estate is better, maybe you just need to surround yourself by the right people to say, maybe you just need to tweak your situation, throw in some real estate. And make it better versus quitting. Here's
the thing, though. If there would have just been one little piece of advice, there's certain things that somebody would be like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It would have dramatically changed the trajectory of the rough terrain that we had to go through, right? If somebody was like, hey, I see what you're about to do, and let me tell you why this isn't a great idea. And I know that there's so much value in the marriage and real estate community, in the marriage and real estate society community. And we just have to pull all of these people together so that we can have this conversation, so that we can say to people when they're plotting their journey of what's next, like, man, I see what y'all doing. We really want to do that. And we go, hey, do it like this instead of this, because we had already went that way. And not that one way is the right way or the wrong way, but the more information that you have, you can make a better decision on like, okay, this person experienced this when they did this, and this person experienced this, and this person experienced this. You collect all that information, and then you're able to make a more informed decision on how you and your spouse are going to proceed on your journey to your dreams through marriage and real estate.
No, 1,000%. Most people want to fire their job, right? Mm-hmm. Like you want to fire your job, but you don't necessarily know what's next, or the job that you're going to hire, or the business you're going to hire. So the biggest thing that one piece of advice I'd say, it took us a while to hire the next job, right? We pivoted quite a bit. in order to find the spot we're at now. And we're still evolving that to even be sweeter than it is now. So the reality of the situation is, if your pain point is your job and your pain point is, I hate going in that office every day, you might need to fire that job, but you really need to know the next thing that you're hiring, right? The next job that you're hiring. So even when people come to us and say, hey, I'm ready to quit my job and do real estate, our question is always, do what? Like, do what in real estate? Well, what are you going to do? Are you going to invest? Well, what money are you going to invest?
Well, and peel back the layers of it, right? Because when I want to quit my job and go into real estate, like, okay, what are you going to do? And how are you going to finance that? And how much time do you have to devote to that? I mean, there's so many layers that you have to pull back to get to the how, because we know, you know, the what, I want to quit my job and go into real estate. The how is the layers that you have to pull back. So I want to talk about, you know, different situations. When is it a good time? Who is it a good time for? Is it a good idea? And I'll start by saying it just depends, right? It could be a very good idea. Like, man, you should launch and make something shake. Like right now is a good time. Or you probably should do this a little bit different because of the responsibilities that you have to navigate, because you created this life based on this job and this income. So let's talk about those different scenarios of when it is a good time to take big risks and when it's a good time to take maybe incremental risk or prepare yourself to take the big risk. Okay,
so I would say, how do you know it's a good time?
New couple. Freshly married, have dreams of being developers and real estate sales agent and building this beautiful team that just builds stuff and sell it and keep all their money in house. Oh, wait, that's me and you. But that could be you too. But if you were no kids, freshly married, and the world is your oyster, what does that look like?
No, I definitely say that couple, if you have a particular talent, right, whether that's on the sales side or a builder like me, somebody with a particular skill set doing something that is a trade, something that can easily translate to income, then that might be a good time if you have no responsibilities and a skill, right? If you have backing, if you have support from your family, if y'all can move in with the in-laws for a year while you figure it out, that might work.
Who does that? Real estate guru punk. Is that how you say it? PK. Sorry, bud.
I think it's PK.
Okay, real estate guru PK. So we were on his podcast, and I think
he was on our podcast.
I think they stayed with somebody's parents.
I think her parents.
They stayed with somebody's parents while they like built their real estate portfolio, right? And I don't know if they had a kid yet or their kid was very young, but they hedged that responsibility of like housing overhead by staying with their parents. There's no right or wrong way to do this, but I think that was pretty profound, right? Because a lot of times we launch out into the world, and especially my skin folk, we launch out into the world and we got to make sure we get the right car, and we got to get an apartment, and the apartment leg, got to make sure your furniture is right. And you got to go to Tulum on vacation and with all your friends. Like all those things have to happen, and we're not making sacrifices. And I feel like if you're young in your marriage and your real estate journey, you have the ability to kind of scale back on life and really put yourself ahead of all of your peers in the next couple of years.
And he's mad young. He did that, right?
Yeah,
like he's super, super young. So if you make that sacrifice early, you get the Tulum and the whatever. It just comes when you can actually enjoy it,
when
right?
You can actually afford it with and make investments at the same time. And he had a mentor, right? If I remember, he had a mentor that kind of told him like, hey, do it this way, kind of thing, right? So again, that community is just so important. But young, and maybe even if you're not young in age, but young in the fact that you don't have anybody to support, it's a good time to take risk like that.
No, it is. I think back on, I went to a networking event last night. One of the people that I met at the networking event, it was a Quest IRA event. We, work with Quest IRA, who's an IRA facilitator, Quest Trust Company. And one of the young ladies I met just left Quest, was working at Quest for 5 years. Well, her father is a really prominent real estate investor, right? So I asked her, well, what are you doing now? She said, well, I'm investing full time. but she spent 5.5 years at Quest. So she graduated from college and went and worked for somebody her father does business with all the time. Her father's a big deal, but she went and put the work in to figure it out, to learn it, to get the skill set. And then she went full time with the support of her father, who's already in the space, versus somebody who, I'm going to get out here and I'm just going to, go real estate investing full time because maybe I have a little bit of money or maybe my parents do, whatever. She said, no, I'm going to spend some time, actually know what I'm doing, then launch on my own, but use that as the catalyst versus you start with no plan, no support, no whatever, and you're out here on your own kind of figuring it out.
Yeah.
She wanted to figure it out first and then launch on her own.
What about the people that are like us, right? Like you have kids and a house and cars.
So that's when
and you're
need
ready to just quit your job and go pursue your dreams in real estate.
So that's when you need a stabilizer and igniter, right? Or a fire and a log, right? You need somebody who's going to hold it down and make sure that the household stays stable. And for us, right, we took the big leap. We took the big, jump together. But honestly, your real estate license became our stabilization, especially as business went up and down. And we had to kind of get it out the mud. But there's a lot of couples who don't have to go through that pain.
You don't.
And if you have somebody who works a job and who makes decent income and who could pay that mortgage while one person figures out this wealth building real estate thing, that works great too. Think long term. Don't think short term, because at the end of the day, the mortgage comes due every month and it's real hard.
I think if hindsight was 2020 and you could go back, and I'm sure there's a version that you have, I'm gonna share my version, right?
Okay, yeah.
So hindsight being 2020, if I could go back and we could do it all over again, it wasn't a we both launch out and full-time real estate. I would have you keep your job because you made the most money, right? And then me go out and ignite by being a realtor, right? And so all of that excess income, you're able to hold down, manage. We get to use your W-2 income to acquire property and all the things that we did when we were full W-2 employees. But we can continue that and add to our portfolio while I make this gangbuster money over here in real estate that can enhance our investments, right?
I agree with that.
So if I could do it all over again, I would do it that way. And then if you want to quit your job after we have this passive income stream, and like a real passive income stream, not like, never mind, y'all know what I'm about to say, but a real passive income stream where you can count on your money. Like, oh, we got 7 properties that, have a cash flow of this amount or whatever that number is, but I would have done it that way. What about you?
Maybe slightly different.
Okay.
I definitely would have kept my job longer, for sure. And I think that was the original plan. It was just kind of it was an opportunity.
You kept your job all the way up to the point where we thought it was a good time to launch.
The one thing I would do different is this. I would have started a company, but I would have hired a better team. I would have hired a very, very experienced team.
Not better, but experienced.
Not better, but experienced on a contract basis.
Because they were great.
No, amazing.
They were loyal.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
What I mean is better as far as they're already operating in the space on a contract basis. People who do what we're trying to do full time, I would have subbed it out.
Yeah.
Because the problem with having your internal team is you have to train people on your own culture, train people on what you want done versus utilizing existing contractors in the space to leverage your job and your income.
Yeah.
Because time was my problem. That's why I had to quit my job, right? So I had a conversation with a guy today who has 4 projects that he wants to build, needs to hire a contractor to build them because he got a job, right? Like he's not trying to figure it out. And he knows that cost him more money, but it saves him time.
Right.
So he can wait the market out and see different stuff and doesn't have to worry about it the same way. So I would do that. I would still climb the corporate ladder because I enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Right. And then now it's just investing and you make that real estate income and then I make the W-2 income and then we invest the excess. So slightly different on yours, but it ends up in the same place.
So that's our hindsight version. But where we at right now is we in this thing.
We in this thing, man.
I mean, it's like we're going to maximize the hell out of this construction company, these real estate developments, this real estate sales, this real estate sales team. And so it's like, we here now, like, let's.
And I think at this point, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, of course, like I said, if God would have showed us before to get here, we'd have been like, nah, we good.
No.
But he didn't. And so we had our journey, which makes it all the more sweeter and better. But I think there is 3 things. If we could impart 3 things on our audience to say, like, quit your job, go into real estate, or don't quit your job, go into real estate, what would those 3 things be?
I would say the 3 things that every couple would need to know before deciding whether or not to quit your job and go full time into real estate.
Let me do one of them.
Okay.
It don't matter which one. Just let me do one.
Okay. I'll let you do the last one.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd say assess your situation. Know what works in your favor and what doesn't, right? If somebody has a good job that they can keep that job. Use the stabilizer to ignite your wealth building journey and support, those entrepreneur efforts. But do it on a case by case. Don't just say F it and jump in the bucket. Assess your situation.
Or take a risk, right? If y'all are young and very
if you big,
rich,
bad, and bold.
Yeah, y'all young and y'all like, we can afford to take these kinds of hits in life because you're young. Do it, because you'll get past the lessons faster than everybody else, and you'll be up before everybody else.
So that's true. So that leads me to my second point. Prepare for the lessons, right? Prepare for the rainy days, because they're going to come.
Yeah. Markets
change. You got to work harder. You got to figure it out. You have to pivot, not panic.
Yep.
All these things come 100% of 100% of the time, right? So you want to make sure you're prepared, because the rainy days are going to come. Them lessons and bumps going to come.
Even the best laid plans have, bumps in the road.
And it's for your good.
It is.
But it will hurt.
And when you look back, you're like, oh, yeah, I remember I had to go through
No. It hurt.
Look back and you're like, that sucks. But we made it through it. You need to change gratitude.
I'm grateful. I'm not grateful, but it hurt. It hurt.
That's us.
Them lessons hurt.
That's the 2 differences in us. I look back at lessons like, whoo, that was tough.
You're
but
way more emotionally resilient than me. I take that on the chin.
Facts. And then I think the last point is get a tribe, right? One small piece of information can change the whole trajectory of your success or your losses. And I feel like when we started out, we just had a plan and we just working our plan. It doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. We know this is going to work. We ready for this. Whatever we got, we ready. We got all the information, right? And if we would have listened to our tribe, and not all of our tribe, because some of our tribe said, don't do this, right? But you want to surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do, who have done what you want to do, who are actively involved in what you're saying that you want to do. You want to be married and you want to be in real estate, hang out with the people that's in the Marriage and Real Estate Society. It just makes sense to me.
No, and if you're looking for a tribe, the Marriage and Real Estate Society is here. So the first thing I want you to do is like this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, and hit that notification bell so you can find out when these cool episodes are dropping. Mm-hmm. Also, Facebook Marriage and Real Estate Society launching today.
Wow.
So
today,
check it out. Facebook Marriage and Real Estate Society. So go to the Marriage and Real Estate page, and you can find Marriage and Real Estate Society and become a part of the community. And stay tuned, because we're dropping amazing things. We'll be dropping more content, but also we got the Marriage and Real Estate Conference 2023 coming your way, and we'll be dropping more information on that. But for all of you out there ready to quit your job in real estate,
do it.
Don't do it.
Do it
until you follow the Marriage and Real Estate podcast and become a member of the society. So with that being said, this is the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast. I'm Kevin.
I'm Aisha.
Don't quit your job, y'all.
Quit your job.
Bye.